What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is February 11th and I got 5 official NBA player props that I'm going to go over in today's video. After I'm done diving deep into those 5 plays, I'm going to go over every game on today's 14 game slate and just give you guys my best leans for today as well, because if any of those leans were something you guys were looking at, hopefully me talking about leans gives you guys a little extra value. And I actually just recorded this whole video. It took me almost 45 minutes to go over everything, and the audio didn't record because I updated my Windows, and I guess that messed with the input on my mic. All I did was unplug it and replug it back in, and it worked perfectly fine. But yeah, I'm sorry that this video is getting out so late. I'll try and be quick. We went 2-0 yesterday, up 23 units on the season. Yeah. Let's just get right into the video. All right, now my first play for today is in the Hawks-Hornets game, and I took Grant Williams to get 3 assists tonight. I got this at plus 145 on HardRock right here. Still the exact same odds from earlier today. DraftKings did have this at plus 147. Looks like it dropped down a little bit. Still very playable. Hit rate obviously looks terrible. And I was originally looking at laddering CANT's assists because without Miles Bridges, he had 8 assists on 10 potentials. And versus the Hawks this season, he's been able to go over the Hawks in both games, like with LaMelo, whatever you want to take out Colin Sexton and get this game out of here. He's averaging 5.5 assists per game. 8 potentials, 17 potentials. I really do think it's a good look for Khan, but I also could see him going under as well. I know a lot of people are on LaMelo's assists, which is obviously a good look. Super soft matchup, fast paced. I was looking at Brandon Miller's points as well, maybe his assists. And on my strong leans list last night, I was looking at Kalkbrenner 8.5, 9.5 points, but I ultimately went with Grant Williams assists because without Diabate and without Bridges, Grant Williams, you guys can see, is projected to play 27 minutes tonight. Now, it was 26 earlier. I like it even more now. But in games this season, when he's played 21 or more minutes, he's gone over in both games, averaging 4.5 assists per game. I know he converted on all 5 of his potentials versus the Pistons, but that's a much tougher matchup. The Pistons are allowing the 3rd least assists per game, while the Hawks are allowing the 7th most. Same with the Cavs. It's not an insanely hard matchup, but it's harder than what he'll be seeing tonight. I'm honestly expecting the Hornets to play a little small ball with Grant Williams at the forward center. Like, how is Grant Williams a center? He's not a center. He can just guard centers. So they're able to play with him on the floor as a center. So I really do think this game will be super fast paced, obviously high scoring, close spread. So it should be a close game. And if his floor is 5 potential assists and his ceiling is 10, just looking over like the last however many games, 27 games when he's been able to reach that, we can even put his minutes down to like 30 minutes, cap it at, put him at 23 minutes with Charlotte, make sure all these games are with Charlotte. He's gone over in 7 out of 10 games, averaging 3.6 assists per game. Now, I know a lot were without like Brandon Miller, without LaMelo Ball, but both these games this season were with everybody fully healthy. So at plus 145, look, it just got bumped down mid-recording. This video should be out for you guys by now if I didn't fuck it up, but still very playable at plus odds. I really do think there's a ton of value here. So yeah, my first play is Grant Williams over 2.5 assists. Now, my second play is in the Wizards-Cavs game, and I took Jarrett Allen, yes, over his points, but not over his full game points. I took him over 4.5 first quarter points. Just like the Grant Williams read, I was debating Donovan Mitchell's points. Obviously, we ran this yesterday, or 2 days ago, sorry, and he cashed us out easily. His usage has still been insane with James Harden. He took 24 shots, 23, usage percentage of 34%, just unreal. And in games when he does see a crazy high usage, he soars over this line, which makes sense, right? I also debated James Harden's 21.5 points line because he's gone over this in both games with the Cavs. He's now in Cleveland. I could see him trying to put on a show for the Cleveland fans, but it also is a little bit tougher of a matchup for guys like Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. The Wizards are the 2nd best team at limiting points to pull-up shot attempts, and that's why I love PropsMadness, guys. Use my code Nick so that you're able to see all these filters, all these shot charts and everything, and get 25% off your first month on PropsMadness. But anyway, I ultimately went with Jarrett Allen's first quarter points because without Evan Mobley, he scored at least 5 points in 7 out of 12 games. Then with Donovan Mitchell as well, 8 out of 10, averaging almost 7 points per game. So the hit rate is already fantastic. And then with James Harden, you guys can tell Jarrett Allen has been soaring. We all can see his lines. His PR was a strong lean of mine on my list last night that I posted. A lot of people are on his full game points, but I'm on his first quarter points because not only is it a good hit rate, James Harden's the one passing him the ball now. He's been playing good recently. Super soft matchup, as you guys can tell, but I didn't play his full game points because of this spread. Super high total. A lot of points are going to be scored, but will the Cavs blow these guys out by halftime? And will Jared Allen and James Harden, Donovan Mitchell all even play 35, 32 minutes? Or will the Cavs jump out hot? And if they do blow them out, like the game script is predicting, Jared Allen should be able to get some easy points in the first quarter because he's still going to see his 8-9 minutes without Evan Mobley. And I'm just curious here, in games when the Cavs win by 10 or more points, he's gone under this line in 9 out of 15 games, while first quarter he's gone over in 9 out of 15 games. And then some of these games he didn't even see the minutes that he's going to be seeing today. He's going to see like 8 first quarter minutes. So if we take that away, 7 out of 11 games when they do win by at least 10 points, averaging 6.1 first quarter points, which I know that doesn't really relate to first quarter when they do win by a larger margin. Just another way for me to say that I do really like this line at 4.5 first quarter points. I got this at plus 110. You can still get at plus money on HardRock and Fanatics. Pretty good odds on FanDuel as well. I'd still play it. But before I move into the next play, I would like to shout out and mention that this play was found by someone in my Discord last night. His name is Hero, I believe, but he's been posting plays in the Discord. He's been in it for a while now. We just got a couple guys in there, like I've been saying in almost every video. We got a good, slowly growing community, and Hero posted this play. And then when I got back from the gym, finished a quick meeting with my professor, looked at this line and thought, wow, this line actually is really solid. I can't believe it's at plus 110. So yeah, shout out to him. Hopefully we can cash this together, and make sure you guys join my Discord because him and some other people locked this in before I even made it an official play. Yeah, shout out to him. Now my third official play is in the Knicks 76ers game, and I took Josh Hart over 11.5 RA. Obviously this line is not available anymore because mid-recording of my last video, OG got ruled out. But I'd honestly still play this line at 12.5 because Josh Hart is averaging 14.3 rebounds and assists per game with Mitchell Robinson and without OG. Maybe just sprinkle like 0.5 units on it since you did miss out at the 11.5 at this point. But geez, what an insane look. Like, similar players have been cooking versus 76ers recently. And the way I explained this play was that both these guys were still questionable when I locked this in. And if Mitchell Robinson did play and OG did play, I still liked this line even though the hit rate is a little worse because in both games with those guys, Josh Hart still soared over this line versus the 76ers. So I said if one of them or both of them even got ruled out, obviously this play was going to soar. And lo and behold, OG did get ruled out, and now this is at 12.5, probably going to be maybe 13.5 before the game. And then if you look at Josh Hart historically versus the 76ers, he's gone over 11.5 RA in 15 out of 16 games versus them. Now, I know he probably won't play 49 minutes tonight, but he still played 34, 37. He played 41 last night in a tough loss to the Pacers, so they're going to have to bounce back. I know it's a back-to-back, but he's had no trouble going over this line in back-to-back games this season, but all these games were without Mitchell Robinson, so take that as you will. The Sixers are allowing the most RA to Josh Hart's position. I know I said those similar players have already been playing well versus them, but like in bottom 10 matchups, Josh Hart has gone over this in 63% of games, averaging 13.8 RA. And if we just bump up his minutes too, because I'm sure he didn't play almost 30 every single game. Yeah, still pretty good hit rate. Honestly, still take it at 12.5 at like 0.5 units, like I said. Yeah, my third play, Josh Hart over 11.5, 12.5 RA. Now, my fourth play is in the Clippers-Rockets game, and I took Benedict Mathurin over 13.5 points. You can get at better odds than I did on HardRock somehow. Whatever else, it's pretty much been bumped to 14.5. My read here is even though like it's a decently tough matchup. I know the Rockets haven't been as good defensively. Like I said, you don't really know what you're going to get for them as a defense. They'll either be elite or they won't be, which is common sense. But if we look at the 3 games Benedict Mathurin has played versus the Rockets this season, he's taken 11 shots in 26 minutes, 15 and 34, and 13 and 26 yesterday versus the Rockets. And he shot 4 of 13 and finished just 5 points shy of 14 points. So if he's seeing anywhere around this type of volume, which I believe he should because he's projected to play 29 minutes and potentially start for the Clippers, I love this 13.5 line. We set his ceiling to 15 field goal attempts because that's what his ceiling was versus the Rockets this year, and put his floor to 10 even though it was 11. He's going over this line in 12 out of 15 games this season, averaging almost 18 points per game because Benedict Mathurin, I think, is really good. that's not really a hot take. And when he sees the volume, he's able to produce. And what else did the Clippers want him involved in the trade package for than other to score the ball? I mean, he can grab some rebounds, he can assist. I'm not saying he can't, but the Clippers need someone other than Kawhi and John Collins to come and score the ball consistently. And I think that's Bennedict Mathurin. If he makes 2-3 shots more yesterday, he cashes this line. And this was a strong lean of mine yesterday, so I'm more than happy to play it today now that he's projected to play almost 30 minutes and has proven he can score versus the Rockets already this season. So yeah, my fourth play is Bennedict Mathurin over 13.5 points. Now my fifth and final official play is in the Spurs-Warriors game, and I took Draymond Green under 10.5 assists plus rebounds. Now the read here is not only is Draymond projected to play just 28 minutes tonight, over his last 10 games, he's averaging less than 26 minutes played per game. I know the hit rate favors the under heavily, and I think this is honestly 10.5 because the Spurs are on a back-to-back, so they might be tired, might be closer game, but I really don't believe that because it is a back-to-back, but Wemby played 26 minutes. He had a historic game. The Spurs aren't really tired. Yes, they do have to travel or did travel to Golden State, but there's still going to be a hard matchup for Draymond to not only assist his teammates, but also grab rebounds versus Wemby. And without Steph, he's gone under this in 7 out of 9 games, averaging 8.4 RA. And then the 2 games that he did go over, you guys can see Al Horford didn't play in either of these games. And Al Horford is healthy. He's projected to play a good 25 minutes tonight. So in games with Al Horford, without Steph, doesn't really matter if Jimmy Butler plays or not. He's gone under this in 6 out of 6 games, averaging 6.7 RA. And yeah, this game he only played 9 minutes, so remove that. 7.4 RA, under in 5 out of 5. I do just think it's a tough matchup. He doesn't have Steph to rack up easy assists. He obviously doesn't have as good of chemistry with the players that are on the court. He's not projected to play 30 minutes either. So I just think 10.5 RA would be a pretty tough feat to achieve tonight versus the Spurs. So yeah, my fifth and final official play is Draymond Green under 10.5 RA. Okay, now to break down the entire slate. Go over some leans that I did like for today. Starting with the Bucks Magic game, I really liked Cam Thomas's points. I just think the Bucks need another scorer. I know he's only projected to play 14 minutes. He only played 13 versus the Magic 2 days ago, but he took 5 shots. He got to the line once as well, but the matchup isn't as bad as it seems. The Magic play one-on-one. They'll let these guys go to work. You can see similar guards with similar play styles to Cam Thomas. Just the guys that are able to score have been able to score versus the Magic, and it's a system play for a lot of people. The only scary part is who knows what Doc Rivers is going to do. I do really like this points. I mean, at 9.5, oh my gosh, like, that's so tempting, but just a lean as of right now. I already talked about some leans in this game with Brandon Miller's 23.5 points, Khan's assists, maybe Kalkbrenner's points. Didn't really have anything on the Hawks side because of the injury news. Pacers Nets, the one play that I did honestly like a lot in this game was Danny Wolf over 12.5 points. It looks like it's been bumped back down to 12.5. He's gone over this in 3 straight games, and Michael Porter Jr. is out now, and Claxton is listed as doubtful. And I know he went under in this one game, but he played 35 freaking minutes. I don't really know if this was due to blowout or, I mean, it doesn't really matter probably because he's a rookie. They want him to see the floor. What else do the Nets have to lose? And if Danny Wolf is seeing like tons of minutes, I could see him scoring 13 points tonight. On the Pacers side, I honestly think Cam Jones, this guy's went to Marquette, really good guard, just doesn't get minutes. Now that Nembhard's out, Siakam's out, he's projected to play 33 minutes tonight, so I do think his lines have some value, but it is just a lean. Obviously, I'm not going to put any money on Cam Jones. Just too unpredictable. Bulls-Celtics game. On my strong leans list, I'd put Vooch over 13.5 points. It was bumped to 14.5, but since Keita was recently ruled in after being ruled a game time decision, this has jumped back down to 13.5. Just super soft matchup versus former team. The hit rate's awesome when he does play. He went over in 1 out of 2 games with the Celtics so far this year. He's projected to play 28 minutes, and the one time he went under was when he played 23 and they lost by 22 points to the Knicks. So Vooch does see around like the 30-minute mark. I think 25.5 PRA versus former team is very doable, but as of right now, again, just a lean for me. I could also see Anthony Simons taking a ton of shots versus former team, but there's not really any bad blood there in my opinion. Colin Sexton's scoring the ball. He's going to take a ton of shots. He's projected to play a ton, but I didn't lock anything in this game. Pistons, Raptors. My initial read and what I put on my strong leans list was Paul Reed lines. I just put Paul Reed lines question mark because I didn't know what they would open up at. And I know Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart are both suspended for fighting, but his lines are just too high for me to take with confidence. I know he played pretty well after both of them got ejected in this game, and he's projected to play 33 minutes now. This was at 17 earlier this morning, but he's not a bad backup at all. His lines are just unbelievably high. Also was looking at Cade's 25.5 points line. I just don't see how, with a 1-point spread, the Pistons are away, how they keep this game close if Cade doesn't take on a bigger role when it comes to putting the ball in the hoop. I mean, Karis LeVert could go stupid. Dennis Jenkins could, but Cade's averaging a little more points away than he is at home. Without Jalen Duren, he soared over this line. The one time he didn't was when the Knicks got blown out by the Pistons by 40 points. Yeah, I mean, 25.5 is a strong lean of mine as well. On the Raptors side, I liked Brandon Ingram's rebounds. Obviously, at home, this is always like a lean. But with Pirtle, he's gone over this line in 9 out of 10 games at home. Colin Murray-Boyles is also out today, and the Pistons probably won't be as good of a rebounding team with Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart both suspended. So I think it's a pretty good look. Same with Mamu, just obviously really high. Mamu threes is also a decent look as well without Colin Murray-Boyles. But yeah, in the Knicks-Sixers game, I was looking at Embiid's 27.5 points. Obviously it's Joel Embiid. He's projected to play 33 minutes tonight. So when he does see minutes, obviously he's going to take a ton of shots. He's gone over in like 7, 8 straight home games. I guess when you remove this, 7, whatever. I don't really have to talk you guys into Joel Embiid scoring almost 30 points. It's a big game versus the Knicks. He scored 38 versus them earlier, 26 versus them. But I do honestly like Kelly Oubre Jr.'s points a little better without Paul George, and with Joel Embiid, he's just takes all the attention away from Kelly Oubre, and without Paul George, there's no one to take that role from Kelly Oubre, so he just scores a lot better when Paul George is off the court and Joel Embiid is on. So that's a pretty good look as well. You guys know I took Josh Hart's RA. Clippers, Rockets, took Benedict Mathurin, but the only other thing I was looking at is Kevin Durant's points in this game, because he did take 22 shots last game. I don't know how I feel about him doing that again, but he has cooked in back-to-backs this season. He's averaging 30, almost 31 points per game on back-to-backs. So if you guys do want to take his 24.5, this was at 23.5 earlier, I wouldn't blame you. Just a little tough for me in these games that like teams have played each other in back-to-back games. Benedict Mathurin, in my opinion, is just a little different of a story. He's played him 3 times in a row. I'm just kidding. But now onto the Heat Pelicans game. I did like Trey Murphy Jr. over 3-pointers. The Heat defense has been a top 5 defense, and especially over their last 5 games, they've been pretty elite, but that hasn't really stopped Trey Murphy from converting on his threes. And they're actually allowing the 6th most 3-point attempts per game, which makes the hit rate look terrible. But he also was just interviewed and said that he would have joined the 3-point contest if he was invited. So maybe that's like another angle as well. But my main lean in this game was Herb Jones over 6.5 RA. Okay, it's not available anywhere anymore. It was available earlier, but he's gone over this in 2 straight games. I mean, 9-10 RA. Those are both games without Jose Alvarado. And then the other 2 games this season when Jose Alvarado was out and not traded, he went over in 1 out of 2. I know I said the Heat have a pretty good defense, but they're a little banged up and they play at a super fast pace, the fastest pace in the league. So there should be a ton of opportunities both to assist his teammates and grab rebounds in this game. Spread of 1.5 points should stay close. Herb Jones is projected to play 32 minutes. So when he does see the minutes and like it's a pretty good matchup, he's been able to go over this line, averaging 7.3 RE per game in fast-paced matchups when he plays at least 24 minutes. On the Heat side, you guys know I love my Simone Fontecchio. It's a beautiful matchup for him. I honestly was looking at his 2.5 threes at like plus 130. Without Norman Powell, without Tyler Hero, Andrew Wiggins is questionable, but Pele Larson is also out. But I don't know why he's projected to play just 19 minutes tonight. If that was anywhere in the 20 mark, I would be slamming this just because the amount of volume he takes is insane. Looking at this graph, it doesn't look too crazy. So it's just a lean as of right now unless something changes. In the Blazers-Wolves game, I did have a strong lean here with Jaden McDaniels over 16.5 PA. Now, Ant is listed as questionable. I do think he plays tonight, but if he doesn't, it's obviously a good look. Over in 10 out of 10 games, 22.5 PA is what he's averaging. And I know Io is now on the team and has taken a lot of shots, probably taken some away from Jaden McDaniels for the rest of the season, but he still had 21 PA in their last game 2 days ago with Io and with Ant. So I do think 16.5 is a little low. When Jaden McDaniels plays 29 plus minutes with Ant, he's gone over this line in 18 out of 30 games. They are at home today as well, so his teammates should be shooting better. He should be shooting a little better, which doesn't support me taking Dante's under 12.5, just because with Io, if Ant does play, I do think he plays, so he's already projected to play 28 minutes tonight versus his normal like 34 because of Io and Bones Highland. And in games when Dante doesn't play 30 minutes, he's really struggled to score the ball. He's only played 26, 24. I know these are both blowouts, but the game before as well, he only played 26 minutes. So it's a tough matchup. The Blazers are allowing the 8th least points per game to above the break threes, which is where Dante obviously scores 60% of his points. But yeah, both just leans as of right now. Didn't really have anything on the Blazers side other than Scoot Henderson's assists. Obviously, he's only projected to play another 20, 21 minutes. So to get 5 assists in that limited amount of time is pretty impressive, but he's been able to do it. Just don't know if he'll be able to do it versus a pretty decent defense. Actually, over their last 5 games, the Timberwolves have been terrible. But on the season, they are the 10th best defense. So, I mean, if they get back to what they normally would be at, it is a pretty tough matchup for Scoot. But I could see him going over 13 potential assists, 14. I know Denny didn't play, and he's obviously playing tonight. So, yeah, just a lean for me. In the Thunder-Suns game, you guys know me. We just cashed this out yesterday. I would be looking at Dillon Brooks' points at home, but this is a pretty tough matchup versus the Thunder, pretty low total. I feel like if there was a game for Devin Booker to come back alive, it would be this game. And if we look at Dillon Brooks, how he's played versus the Thunder this season with Devin Booker, but without Grayson Allen, he's went under this line in their first game versus the Thunder this season. I could see a similar like performance to this again, where he takes a ton of shots but struggles to make them because the Thunder have such a good defense. Without Devin Booker, with Grayson Allen, they lost by 50 points. He still took 16 shots, but again, struggled. And then their last time they played him about a month ago, he shot a little better and was able to surpass the 20-point mark. And these were both away games. So if you do want to take Dillon Brooks to score 20 points again, I would not be against it. He's cashed us out every single time we've taken it this year, but I'm just staying away for right now. I also like Jalen Williams under. I know we played this 2 days ago. Now, like I said in my last video, I'll still die on the hill that he's not as good as everyone says he is. He made almost double the amount of free throws than he did field goal made. So he should have went under. He did go under his PRA after scoring 23 points. He went under his 27.5, 28.5 PRA line. I mean, if he doesn't take and make 11 out of his 13 free throws, he soars under this. And it is a little bit tougher of a matchup because the Suns have a pretty good defense. So I could see Jalen Williams going under this PRA line again tonight. Now for the Kings and Jazz game, my main lean here was DeMar under basically anything you want to look at. This was at like 24, maybe 25.5 if I can remember correctly last night when I posted it on my strong leans list. I know his points for a fact was at 18.5. I wish I locked in the under on that, but it's just simple math. I mean, the Kings are tanking. DeMar's pissed. He's throwing water bottles. He doesn't care. He's not going to play more than 30 minutes. If he does, I'd be surprised. But in games when he doesn't, he's going under in 13 out of 17 games, averaging just 12 points per game. Same with his PRA, going under. And then if you take off his buddy, Zach LaVine, he's gone under in every single game. So just a super strong lean for me right now. If there was a play that I was going to lock in, it'd probably be this one, honestly. They're just playing all their young guys a ton of minutes, which I don't blame them. Maxime Reynaud's rebounds was a lean of mine. Dylan Cardwell's rebounds is also a lean. It's just such high lines, because the books know the Kings are going to play these guys a ton of minutes. In the Grizzlies-Nuggets game, the only real lean I had was Jonas Valanciunas over 8.5 points. I didn't dive deep into this game too much just because of all the injuries. I know they're listed as probable, but pretty soft matchup here for Valanciunas. The Grizzlies don't really have any bigs anymore. I mean, who even is their big? Kyle Anderson, I'm guessing. I mean, they're just a tiny team. Who knows if Valanciunas will even see the 13, 15 minute mark. That's what he's projected to play. And obviously he's been able to score 9 points in limited minutes, and the matchup is super soft, so he could do it again. But yeah, just a lean because I don't really know what's going to happen with him today. And to the final game, Spurs-Warriors. I know I took Draymond, but like I said, this isn't really like a full back-to-back for the Spurs. Wemby only played 26 minutes. Dylan Harper played a ton. Devin Vassell only played 24. Like, they're going to be rested. They're going to be good to go. This might lead to a blowout, honestly. But a guy I've been looking at is Gui Santos. I low-key think his name is Guy. I feel like I've heard him be called Guy, but I haven't really watched too many Warrior games, obviously, so that's why it's a lean. I was going to lock this in on the 9 just because of the stats. He's projected to play a ton of minutes. When he does play minutes, he's been able to go over this line no matter 11.5, 12.5. He's averaging 16 points per game when he plays 27 to 36 minutes, and he's projected to play only 30 minutes tonight. So again, I just think it's a decent lean here. Tough matchup. I low-key think the Warriors get blown out. But yeah, that is all I got for you guys today. I'm sorry again, this video took so long to get out. Another 40+ minute recording. I can't believe I let the other one go to waste. I'll try not to let it happen again so I can get these lines out to you guys sooner. But I can't always upload a YouTube video, and that's why being in my Discord, being subscribed to my Winnable, whether that's for free or you're subscribed to the $5 VIP just to get my plays early, either way, it's important because I'm not the best sports bettor in the world, but I do find value out there, and all I want to do is see you guys win. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and comment literally anything down below. I do not care. But yeah, guys, have a good day. Peace out.